Hello there everyone at the vinyl community and YouTube. JorgenS here, and in Sweden we have a very unpredictable weather. One week it is very hot and 30 degrees, the next week it is raining, and now we're in a period where it is pretty much sunny and very good heat, but we never know from the next day to the other whether it's going to be rain or not. After that little weather forecast, hello there, xelizabethmartinez, Liz. This is a response for you and the contest that you had called I'm cute, and if you disagree you can suck my titty. I promise you, Liz, that if I ever get the chance to release a record in some form, which is highly unlikely, I would name that record that, because it sounded very, very interesting and very, very strange, which is I like always. So I am new subscriber to your channel, and you seems to have doing very interesting and different videos and have a very interesting taste. So it's going to be interesting to follow you. You asked 5 questions, and I always like answering questions, so be my honor to answer them. Question number 1, you wanted us to show our most banged up records and tell why we bought it. I have a couple of examples here where one is my choice of the most banged up. Honorable mentions are this one, a box set, Norman Granz Jazz at the Philharmonic. The record itself isn't all that banged up, but the sleeve is not all that good. As you can see, it's taped and it's not all that good cover. Why I bought it was simply because I got interested in to have records with Jazz at the Philharmonic, and I think some of these are also, this is a concert of course, with different musicians that was a part of Jazz at the Philharmonic, and live concerts, a rare release from a group that I don't have a record with before. Of course I bought it. I'm not a stranger buying little banged up records. Of course my first priority is to buy records that are in good and perfect shape, but if I come across a record with an artist that I don't have and that I wanted to have for so long, or if it's a record that I feel like, wow, I gotta have this one because I don't know when I'm going to find this one again, then I'm taking the chance of buying it banged up, because I'd rather have a banged up record than no record at all, if I say like this. But of course if I found a perfect shape I buy that in first hand. But I take my chances every now and then. Another honorable mention is this one, Benny Goodman and his orchestra, trio and quartet, Jazz Concert number 2, 1937 to 38. This is a double LP set with a very interesting sleeve. And why I bought it, even though it looks like it's falling apart, I think it is pretty easy. I mean, take a look at this back. How often will I run into a record with this kind of back with spirals? It was such an unusual cover, I gotta have it, and the record is okay, listenable, but not in mint condition, if I say like that. But it's really, really great to have. But the most banged up sleeve that I have is, I think I showed this one in a previous vinyl update. This record with Swedish and Danish group Swe-Danes. Med Swe-Danes på Banch. Banch is a club here in Sweden, in Stockholm. This is a live concert, and as you can see, not the most perfect sleeve, and the album is not all that good either. But it's listenable. I listened to it, and why I bought it, I didn't. I got it for free from a friend of mine at work. And why I'm keeping it is it was such a great concert, filled with both splendid humor and great swing music, that I gotta have this one until I get a better copy of it. I was very happy to have it, even though it looked like this, because it was such a great record. A record that the record that first comes to our mind when we think about our childhood, that one was the easiest part. I've shown this one multiple times. Happy to do it again. Alphaville, Forever Young. A record that breathes childhood to me. It's one of the best records that I have, not only because it's nostalgia, but also because it's so awesome and well made. Awesome synth pop from 1983-84. I remember when a couple of friends and I, we formed a group, a gang that had as a specialty that we listened and loved this album. That was the only thing we had in that this group had as its specialty. You had to love this album. So I borrowed it home without permission, made a copy of it, and snuck it back again without anyone noticing it. So I have so many childhood memories from this one. Best finds from thrift stores. Most of my records are bought at thrift stores, so nominating one find that on my absolute best finding is very, very hard. I've done so many great findings at thrift stores, but I can have three examples here. First of all, this one, Miles Davis, Birth of the Cool. Bought it for a pretty low price. Maybe not the most perfect record. Not to be placed in the first category, most banged up record, but not close after that. This is what I have been finding out. I think this is an original copy from 1957. So it is a fantastic finding. It's just an awesome, awesome record. Maybe one of the best jazz records ever made. So, and number two. Now we're leaving the jazz. This one I bought at a thrift store in Stockholm. This is my favorite soul sister, Robin, and an EP, Swedish artist, and an EP called the Rackamoni EP. I'm pretty much aware of Robin's releases, and I definitely can't say that I've seen this one before. I thought so when I saw it, I checked it out also. I bought it, and I checked it out. That it was an EP only released outside of Sweden for the foreign market. So I was extremely happy to find this one. And the third example is a couple of CD bootlegs that I found for very, very low price. Very underpriced records in my book, but hey, I'm happy. Oasis, The Unfinished Sympathy. This is demos and alternative tracks for Standing on the Shoulder of Giants album. from 2000, I think it is. And this one is really awesome and interesting and great in all kinds of ways. And it only costed me $2. I'm not sure I would be taking that. And, this one also, more Britpop. This is Suede and a bootleg CD live album called Europe Is Our Playground, live in London, 1996. And the concerts are made right after they released their fantastic album Coming Up, one of the best Britpop albums ever. So it's so really great. It also contains, besides this London concert, BBC Radio 1 session, also live, recorded in September 1996. So you get 2 concerts for the same price of 1. So it's a fantastic bootleg. Also costed me only $2. Then it was the question, the most interesting thing that we found inside of a record when we bought it. I haven't come across all that much stuff inside of records. Maybe I haven't had such good luck. If we don't count the EP that is inside Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, but that is in every, from honest, that every copy of Songs in the Key of Life. So I don't think that counts as a special thing to have. But the one that first came to my mind may not be all that valuable to many, but to me at the time when I bought it was very interesting, that I was very happy about finding. I would imagine back in 1992-93 here in Sweden, we had a second-hand record store here that bought up a record collection from in Sweden famous radio host Bengt Gravström, and they bought it was many singles, 7-inch singles, many singles that he have gotten from various record labels through the years, and I was there. I bought a lot of it was so much 80s. I bought a lot of records, and I was very surprised when I got home, and in several of these I found this. This is promotion letters from the record company directed to this radio host, and the radio host was one of my favorite radio hosts at the time, so it was very funny to have these ones. This is Dream Academy, great 80s British band, and their single Love from 1990, a very forgotten single from a very forgotten band. And a promotion letter, maybe it's today, with today's standards, doesn't sound all that special, but to me at the time, in 1992, I was in my late teen years, and I was beginning to have that collecting feeling. It was a very special one. It's another example. Tracy Ullman and Sunglasses from 1984. Nice red promotion letter from not from the record label itself. The other one was from the record label itself, but this is from Stiff Records distributor here in Sweden, Sonnet. And going to read, not long at all. Tracy Ullman, the summer girl of 1984. Tracy has done a fantastic career the previous year, and whose debut album, You Broke My Heart in 17 Places, have reached over 50,000 record buyers only in Sweden. And she's releasing now a new sought-out single, Sunglasses. Promotion pictures and the video shows Tracy in all kinds of and impossible types of sunglasses, but initiated sources says with certainty that Tracy's private sunglasses is bought at Nybrogatan in Stockholm in Sweden. so this one was very funny to read actually when I got it at the time. So, and every I still have the ones that I still have of these singles that I bought at the time that contains these promotion letters. I still have, because they're very fun to have. So with that, Liz, I hope that you are satisfied with my answer. It's very fun to do, as always. Do some digging in the collection. And I hope that you and everybody else have a very nice week. And hoping for more sun. And that the rest of you are having a great summer. So until next time, take care and bye-bye. Hey, I forgot one question. Sorry, Liz. My memory isn't what it has been. You wanted also to know if we had a record that we regretted buying immediately before we got it home. And that one was the hardest question, because normally I don't regret anything until I put it on the turntable. After when I listen to it, and if it is a bad record, then of course I might regret it. But of course, if I bought it and realized that it is some kind of a some kind of a duplicate, that I had this record already, of course then I might regret it. But when it comes to taste, I want to give every record I buy some kind of a chance. But one record comes to my mind that might be a good example, and that is when me and a friend of mine was on some kind of a tour. We went by car around in different flea markets here in the area and up north. And we came to a second-hand store in the countryside, and they had a lot of boxes with records, and I found a double record set by producer Jelly Bean, who had been producing many artists, among others Madonna. And I always loved Jelly Bean's 80s works, what he had been doing to different artists during the 80s. And I bought it, thinking that it was some kind of good music. But then when I was in the car and we were driving to the next second-hand store, I looked at the record and realized that this was actually a remix album, a double remix album, containing just remixes that were 7 and 8 minutes long. It was no normal melodies, and it was this kind of the funky garage super duper heavy I love to dance mega mix, something like that. And I started to regret a little bit that I actually had bought this one, but I thought to myself, okay, I give it a chance. And I can't show it because the record is no longer in my collection. I removed it years ago, so I guess that says a lot what I thought of it. But that was the record that I regret buying, actually. So once again, Liz, hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.